This episode of the Arkham Files is brought to you by Wayne Enterprises. Wayne Enterprises is Gotham's #1 most reliable distributor for all the everyday tech that you'll need in your lives. Whether it be a sunny, humid day or a sad, dark night, you can rely on Wayne Enterprises.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Arkham Files. Dr. Henderson.
My name's Dr. Boose.
And today, we're going to get into the case file of a character that not many people know of.
Yeah.
I would say this is one of the lesser-known Batman characters.
Yeah, definitely.
Just the Ventriloquist, but really it's the Ventriloquist and Scarface. But for this, we're just going to refer to him, and the title of that episode will just be Ventriloquist.
Yeah.
What do you think of him?
I don't really know much of anything about him, but I've always been interested in the character. I don't know. I don't hate him, but from what I know about him, I don't mind him, I guess.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think it's an interesting character. He's got split personality disorder, and so one of his personalities is the dummy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's an interesting character for sure. I'd like to see it done in live action. It's been in live action one time, which we will mention briefly in a moment.
I'm guessing
yeah. But I'd have to see him in a movie or something. I think Matt Reeves' Ventriloquist would be kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I know more about the puppet rather than the ventriloquist himself. I guess that also means I know about the ventriloquist, but
yeah.
I don't know. You see him in like every Arkham game. Is that right?
The puppet, yeah.
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 So it always weirded me out because I always thought they were like hinting towards like, yeah, you're gonna see him in the game at some point, but you never. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know. I don't hate at all, but I like to see him done at some point.
Yeah. With that being said, we can go ahead and read into this case file. The Ventriloquist is the name of multiple supervillains appearing in American comic books and other media published by DC Comics. All of the Ventriloquist versions are enemies of Batman, belonging to the collective of adversaries that make up Batman's rogues gallery. The character has been featured in various media adaptations, such as feature films, television series, and video games. Andrew Sellon portrays a new version of the character in the television series Gotham. In the 5th season, he finds the dummy Scarface and becomes the Ventriloquist. And I will say, based off the only live-action version of the Ventriloquist, but I was really happy when they did that, because it was a completely out of nowhere thing. It was a character that was in the show for a few seasons previously, and then he disappeared, and rumors were that he had either left Gotham, because he was working for Penguin. He had left Gotham or was killed. And Riddler and Penguin are working together to make up a blueprint for, I think it's a submarine, so they can escape Gotham. And he shows up, and they have this whole thing where Penguin's like, I can't believe you're back. Thank you. My right-hand man's back. This is perfect timing. We need your help. And he was like, I would have come sooner, but he wouldn't let me. And he was like, he who? And then he reaches in the bag and goes, Mr. Cobblepot, meet Mr. Scarface. And he rolls the puppet up. And I was so happy. I cannot believe they're doing this.
That's like a good reveal. Everybody's like, I can just imagine.
And Riddler's response, Penguin was like, obviously, they would have the response that anyone would have to be like, what? And Riddler just stares like a straight face and just goes, wonderful. And then that was the end of the scene. And he shows up later on, and then I think he dies. But
now, wondering how do the cops in Gotham like kind of handle Ventriloquist, because he blames like the Scarface face.
They just arrest Ventriloquist because they know that it's him using the doll.
Okay, and has there ever been hints of like it's just like it's just for show? Like he knows he's crazy and he's just doing the puppet, trying to act innocent so he can get like away with it.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, so I was wondering.
Yeah, but I'll have to send you that I'll put it in the description of the episode. That scene, Gotham. You guys can check it out. Publication history, though, there are currently 3 incarnations of the Ventriloquist. The first and original incarnation, Arnold Wesker, which is who I'm most familiar with, who first appeared in Detective Comics number 583 in February of 1988, and was created by John Wagner, Alan Grant, and Norm Breyfogle. The second ventriloquist, Peyton Riley, was introduced in Detective Comics 827 in March of 2007 by Paul Dini and Don Kramer. In September 2011, the New 52 rebooted DC's continuity, and in this new timeline, the third and final incarnation of the character was introduced, Shauna Belzer, first appearing in Batgirl number 20, as created by Gail Simon and Fernando Pasarin.
Okay.
Three ventriloquists, but I assume it's still all Scarface for all 3 of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna assume as well.
You want to get into the biography?
No one talks about them. Not a whisper or word is said. For if you try to cross them, then
Of course. Arnold Wesker, a meek, quiet man named Arnold Wesker, the first ventriloquist, plans to execute his crimes through a dummy named Scarface, with the dress and persona of a 1920s gangster, complete with a pinstripe suit, cigar, and Tommy gun. His name comes from nickname of Al Capone, after whom Scarface is modeled, born into a powerful organization of crime. Family Wesker develops what in the world? This active identity disorder after seeing his mother.
Okay, dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, dissociative identity disorder after seeing his mother assassinated by thugs from a rival family growing up. His only outlet is ventriloquism. Excuse me. Showcase 94, number 8 through 9, establishes an alternate origin story after a barroom brawl in which he kills someone during the violent release of his repressed anger. Wesker is sent to Blackgate Penitentiary. Is introduced to Woody, in quotes, a dummy card from the remains of the former Blackgate gallows by his cellmate.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. I remember this from somewhere. I know I didn't read it in a book, but I know I heard it. Oh man, it must have been maybe it was an Arkham game. But I do remember reading that his first puppet was carved out of the tree that they used to hang the prisoners.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so some people think that it was like possessed by spirits.
Interesting.
Which I might talk about. I'm not sure, but I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Okay, I didn't know that. So by his cellmate Donegan, is that how you say that?
Yeah, I think so.
Donegan, who convinces him to escape and kill Donegan in a fight which scars the dummy, thus resulting in the birth of Scarface. Wesker lets the Scarface personality do the dirty work, including robbery and murder. He is totally dominated by Scarface, who barks orders at him and degrades him with verbal and even physical abuse. Wesker is unable to excuse me? Enunciate? Oh, it's Christ.
You know what? We're going to change this show to Landon learning how to read. I'm just kidding.
Or the letter B in his words while throwing his voice and replaces them with the letter G. Instead of example, Scarface often calls Batman and Robin Gatman and Rogan.
Yep, because it's hard. You can't do the letter B. It's hard to do the letter B, and I think you can do the letter B in ventriloquism.
Can you
not?
Have to
do it, no, because you have to touch your lips together to say B.
V. I guess
you have to do like a. So he uses G instead.
Oh yeah, Gatman. I've never noticed that. Does he do that?
I guess I never have to go back and watch the animated series episodes he's in. I just think that he's such an interesting character. Like it's like, I don't know, something so interesting about him.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It is weird. I've never noticed that.
Yeah,
I want to like rewatch my animated series, see if he like does it in there.
Ooh, this saved the perfect spot for me to start reading. In the 1995 Riddler story, Riddler, the Riddle Factory, it is revealed that a gangster named Scarface Scarelli had once been active in Gotham City, though he had apparently died long before Batman's era. A supernatural aspect to Scarface was hinted at in Wesker's alternate origin story in Showcase 94, number 8 through 9, when Wesker's cellmate creates the first Scarface dummy from pieces of wood from the remains of Blackgate's prison's gallows. Batman/Scarface, a psychodrama, 2001, reinforces this and shows the dummy to be indirectly responsible for 2 accidents while separated from Wesker, with at least 1 fatality. The dummy also retained his speech impediment while operated by a young boy and seemed to even show awareness of his name during this period. Oh, see, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of like adds like a whole kind of creepy vibe to it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I like that.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Now they can put them into Matt Reeves movies and make them scary.
Oh yeah, I love it.
They're freaking like Annabelle almost.
That sounds cool. I like for him to show like the Matt Reeves stuff.
Yeah, I like. Now that could be. I could see something like that happen at Penguin Show. Hey, I mean,
I love the mention Penguin Show. Why not do that to it?
Yeah. Let's move on here. The Ventriloquist is one of the many villains in the Batman's Rogues Gallery to be confined to Arkham Asylum when Batman apprehends him. So I guess that means he doesn't break out. One particularly memorable series of events concerning him took place during the Nightfall story after Bane had destroyed Arkham and released its inmates. Unable to find Scarface, the Ventriloquist uses a sock puppet in his place for a short time, aptly named Socko. After an ill-fated team-up with fellow escapee Amygdala, he procures a number of other hand puppets to fill in for Scarface, including one of a police officer, which he refers to as Chief O'Hara. Little 1960s nod there.
Yeah.
Later, when Wesker does indeed find Scarface and Socko are set at odds until a standoff occurs and the dummy and the puppet both shoot each other, leaving Wesker unconscious and bleeding from 2 wounded hands.
Hey, he just
That's funny.
Like it's like all in his head too.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's like doing it.
I need to. You know, this is already making me like the Ventriloquist a lot.
It goes up. That's why I like doing this show, or talking about looking through these like case files, because holy crap, a character I wasn't too interested in ends up going up in the ranks as like some of the best characters in Batman lore. Yeah,
I think this guy. I think they need to utilize him more often, just like Condiment King.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. All right, anyway, you want to move next?
Of course. Make sure I'm okay. Yeah. No, during the events of, I don't know, did I skip a part? No. Yeah, okay.
No.
During the events of Cataclysm, story arc, the stress caused by the earthquake apparently triggered the release of another personality within Wesker.
Oh, Lord.
Form of the Quake Master, who claimed to have caused earthquake himself over a video and threatened to trigger another unless he was paid $100 million. However, seismologist, Quake Master had captured to provide him with the information, deliberately feeds him inaccurate scientific data to provide detectives looking for her with information as to her location. Robin subsequently deducts Quake Master's true identity due to his goodness gracious, I accidentally clicked on something. Speeches, always taking great effort into saying any words with the letter B. In one issue, Wesker is apparently killed in a bizarre twist. Scarface appears to still talk and act alive before he is destroyed. This death appears to have been retconned in 1 year later, presumably due to the events of Infinite Crisis crossover event. Wesker appears as one of the members of the Secret Society of Supervillains that faces the Jade Canary, who pitches Scarface off the top of a roof.
Dang.
Huh.
I've read Infinite Crisis. It was a good story. I didn't know he was in that. I didn't realize he was in the Secret Society of Supervillains. When they showed up in that, I must have overlooked it. I know Riddler was in it.
Yeah, was that the only person you were looking out for, though?
Probably. Oh, yeah. I see it talks about Blackest Night here in a minute. I'm interested to hear about that.
And Detective Comics issue 818, in an issue later included in the trade paperback Batman Face to Face, Wesker is murdered by an unseen assailant. I've never heard of that. Silent?
An assailant?
Yeah, what is that? Like an assassin?
So, you've never heard of the word assailant?
I've never heard of the word assailant.
How? It just means like someone who attacks somebody.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Landon words. The show.
Yep. Yep.
The dummy Scarface is stepped on and its head crushed. The dying Wesker. What?
No, that's all. Poor Scarface.
Wesker uses Scarface's hand to leave a clue regarding his murder. A street name. Later in the storyline is revealed that the Tallyman 2, acting as an enforcer for the Great White Shark, is responsible for the murder during the Blackest Night crossover. Wesker is among the many deceased villains to receive a black power ring and is renamed into a Black Lantern. Reanimated, into a Black Lantern. Using his power ring, Wesker creates a construct of Scarface made of black energy he has shown murdering many police officers. It's so how I don't know. I find it very weird how like Wesker is like he's not even like that much known about, but gone through like so many dang things. like I never knew he was a Black Lantern at one point.
Yeah, everyone was a Black Lantern at one point.
Yeah,
that's a good book. I really recommend anyone to read Blackest Night. It's really good. September 2011, the New 52 rebooted DC's continuity. In this new timeline, Arnold Wesker was never killed. He appears in Batman: The Dark Knight Volume 2, Number 2, implied to be in possession of the Venom steroid. He clashes briefly with Nightwing. I do remember that. I did read that book. During the war... What?
Actually, I was just thinking about you telling me about that. I remember that happening.
Yeah. During the War of Jokes and Riddles, Wesker and Scarface are seen as part of the Joker's gang in his gang war against the Riddler's gang. In Harley Quinn Rebirth, after turning on the Penguin, the Ventriloquist and Scarface join up with the few remaining crime lords of New York that manage to escape from the Penguin's giant penguins, and they help Harley Quinn to fight back. Afterwards, he is put in charge of Coney Island's mafia. And that's the end of Arnold Wesker.
Sure.
Next up here is Peyton Riley. I'll start it off with the first two.
Yeah.
To get going to this, a new female ventriloquist, Peyton Riley, called Sugar by Scarface, soon surfaced in the pages of Detective Comics. Batman responded to a police scanner call. Witnesses said Catwoman had been shot. He got to the body, which had a note on it that read "dummy." A counter started at 4 seconds. He got out as the place exploded. When he got back to his car, there was a dummy posing as Robin. He shot it with a grapple, and it too exploded. Batman had the police exhume Arnold Wesker's body, but the coffin was empty. Bruce uses one of his disguises, small-timer Lefty Knox, to see what the underground was saying. Within a week, he heard the ventriloquist was making a comeback at the Iceberg Lounge. Lefty attended the big show. As the curtains parted, the deceased Wesker sat with Scarface in his lap. Beautiful blonde, whom Scarface calls Sugar, knocked over the dead body, picked up the dummy, and continued on. When she was questioned by an audience member, she shot him.
All right.
Scarface told the room he was working on a plan to take over the city, but would have to remove Batman from the equation first. He called Batman out, knowing that he would be in the audience. Bruce threw his voice and made it look... So when you throw your voice, it's a ventriloquist thing, to make your voice sound like it's coming from a different place. Just in case anyone didn't know that. So Bruce threw his voice and made it look like one of the other criminals was confessing. A batarang flew and took out the lights, causing Scarface to open fire. Batman swooped in and grabbed the woman and the dummy. He separated them and realized the dummy was a bomb, forcing him to dispose of it and allowing the woman to escape. Batman then informed Gordon of what had happened. Let's see. Yeah. That was two paragraphs. I thought I'd read one paragraph for some reason.
Sugar is more... Oh, sorry. Yeah,
I was just saying it was an interesting start to this new ventriloquist.
Yeah. I've never heard of this ventriloquist. I've just heard of just the guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, she sounds pretty interesting. What books is she in entirely? Because I've
Detective Comics, the Detective Comics in 827, March 2007. I think was her first appearance.
Okay, all right. Let's see here. Let's get on with it. Sugar is more compatible partner than Wesker since Scarface no longer substitutes B with G, and she is far more willing to commit violent crimes. Because when nearly captured by Batman and Harley Quinn, who had been close to Wesker, after he tried to cheer her up, when she was initially sent to Arkham while the Joker was still on the loose, Sugar has Scarface say, "Save yourself," unlike Wesker, who is horrified at any damage to Scarface. Sugar rigs her dummies to explode, using this to cover her escapes. She has numerous identical dummies at her hideout, easily switching from one Scarface to another as needed. That's actually kind of cool. So, like, every time she needs, like, a getaway plan, she just straight up just boom and just goes.
Yeah.
Never seen that done much in comics.
No.
Let's see here. During Gotham Underground issue 2, January of 2008, Sugar and Scarface, along with Lockup, the Firefly, and Killer Moth, are told by the Scarecrow that the Penguin. That the Penguin is working for the Suicide Squad. They attack him, but end up meeting a team of criminals working for the Penguin. While they try to escape, they are brought to a dead end by the Scarecrow. Tobias Wells shoots Scarface, but lets Sugar live, though he informs one of the men escorting her that she is to be hurt.
Who's Tobias Whale? Is that... Oh, that's his villain name. Oh, it's the guy from Black Lightning. I gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I think Killer Moth would be an interesting character to talk about.
Yeah, definitely.
In a potential third season.
Man, you got a terrible stutter.
Yeah.
Gonna get that checked.
Probably should. In Detective Comics 843 in April 2008, Scarface kidnaps a rival gangster, Johnny Sabatino, and takes Bruce Wayne hostage. While alone, Sugar breaks away from Scarface and talks to Bruce in what appears to be her real personality. She reveals that she was engaged to Wayne's friend, Matthew Atkins, years ago. Her real name is revealed to be Peyton Riley, and she expresses remorse for her crimes before the Scarface persona reappears and interrupts their conversation. In the following issue, Riley reveals that her father, an Irish mafia boss named Sean Riley, wanted to marry her off to Sabatino, forming a permanent alliance between Gotham's Irish and Italian gangs. Okay, real quick. This is what I want to see more, and I think they're doing that in the Penguin show, which is one thing I'm really excited for. We don't really know much about the whole, like, we know, like, the Falcones, and we know the Maronis, but, like, we don't know how, like, this all, like, the whole mob works in Gotham, really.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I want to, that's why I'm kind of excited for the Penguin show, because we get to learn more about a lot of that.
Definitely. I mean, I think with the Penguin show, it's straight up just a mafia show, pretty much. It's gonna be straight up. What's that show called with the what's it called? The Sopranos. That's what it's gonna be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think so too. Let's see. Where was I? Sean Riley, blah, blah, blah. Atkins is beaten severely, leaving him in intensive care. Sean's alcoholism gets worse, and Peyton was forced to marry Sabatino. This does not lead to the hoped-for gang alliance, as Sabatino proves to be an inept gangster. He and Peyton are eventually taken to see Scarface, as Sabatino had cheated him on a weapons deal. Both Scarface and Wesker were impressed by Peyton's intelligence and gave Sabatino a second chance, taking 30% of his profits. I thought Wesker was dead.
Yeah, that's anyway. What?
In Detective Comics 850 in November 2008, she and Tommy Elliott bond over their mutual resentment of their families and vow that they will escape together when Elliott comes into his fortune. However, Elliott's ailing mother does not approve of their relationship. When Tommy refuses to stop seeing Peyton, she writes him out of her will. Peyton subsequently runs the departing family lawyer off the road and kills him, calling in a favor from some of her father's men to take care of the details. While Elliot murders his mother, Peyton declares that they can finally be free together, only to be abandoned by Elliot, who later describes her as a, quote, sweet girl, but too needy.
Dang.
I thought Tommy Elliott's parents were dead. Her mom was dead. She died in the car wreck, did she? Like, they had a car wreck and she died in that, and then the dad didn't, and then Thomas Wayne had to, like, do surgery on him, and then it didn't work out or something. I don't know. Confusing.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. Let's see here. let's see here. Okay, when Scarface's hold on the mob begins to crumble, Sabatino, now a crime boss in his own right, decides to cement his own position by rapping out the Rileys. After killing his father-in-law, he personally shoots his wife in the head. She survives, however, and regains consciousness. What?
Yeah. I mean, you can survive if you get shot in the head. It just depends on where the bullet hits.
I guess. I've heard that happen. Okay. However, Anne regains consciousness just as the tally man is killing Wesker nearby. Peyton finds the body of Wesker and is shocked to hear Scarface talking to her. Although she suspects that she may be hallucinating, she forms a partnership with him when he expresses sympathy and says that he will help her get revenge.
Well.
Okay. Little team up there. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Scarface and Peyton plan to throw Sabatino. Is it Sabatino?
It's Sabatino, I think.
Yeah, Sabatino over the side of his own yacht after Bruce is resurrected by his Zatanna. He assumes rescued by Zatanna. He assumes the role of Batman and proceeds to rescue Sabatino while Zatanna tries to talk down Peyton, explaining the doll and puppets have powerful magic before she can have any effect. A thug named Moose hits her with an oar. While Batman protects Zatanna from Moose, Peyton tries another attempt to throw Sabatino over the side, but gets too close and he begins to strangle her with the rope around his wrist. Scarface quietly says, "Jump, sugar," and Peyton sends them both over the side before they hit the water. Scarface says, "G-bye, kiddo." What?
It's just goodbye.
Oh, goodbye. Goodbye, kiddo. I love you. Riley has not appeared again ever since and presumed to have drowned with Sabatino. Dang. That was an ending.
I don't know who was. Wow. And didn't expect that. And I'll read the final one here. Another character, Shauna Belzer. In the continuity resulting from DC's 2011 reboot of his entire monthly line of books, The New 52, a new ventriloquist debuted in the pages of Batgirl. Shauna Belzer grew up in the shadow of her twin brother Ferdy, whom their parents treated as a favorite while ignoring her. Other children, meanwhile, idolized Ferdy while bullying her. When Shauna learned she could move things with her mind, she used her newfound powers to murder one of her tormentors, who would later use these powers to kill her hated brother and make it look like an accident. Shauna was trying to find her place in the world when she first met Ferdy, the dummy. Oh, the dummy's name is Ferdy now. Okay. She saw him at a birthday party and killed the clown who was using him. Shauna would later go on to kill her parents and start doing ventriloquist acts that would usually end with a dead audience. Jeez. Shauna is one of 6 individuals who are kidnapped by a man identifying himself as the Mockingbird and sealed inside a shipping container on the bottom of the ocean. Besides Shauna, the others are the Catman, Big Shot, Black Alice, Strix, and Porcelain. After escaping, the group becomes known as the New Secret Six. The Mockingbird is eventually revealed to be the Riddler, who believes that one of the 6 stole a priceless diamond from him, but he does not know who. A thief is revealed to be the ventriloquist doll Ferdy, who had stolen the diamond and hidden it within his own wooden body. His persona being so separate from Shauna's that she did not even realize that her doll was the thief. In the final issue of the Secret Six series, Shauna betrays the team and abandons Ferdy when he insists that they remain loyal to the group. Shauna is incarcerated in the Arkham Asylum, where she is now using a sock puppet as her new doll.
Okay.
So not the best one, but I like the other 2 better.
Yeah, especially the last one. Last one like really surprised me.
Yeah. My hand on the microphone. Yeah, and that's the end of the case file.
Yeah.
The ventriloquist. It shot up in my mind. I like this character.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think it might be my top 10.
Top 10? It's gone up there. It might be top 10 now because of just hearing like, and honestly, I can't even pick a favorite with what's her name, Peyton and and Arnold. I can't pick a favorite honestly at this point. Because both of them just have both of them really interesting stories and backgrounds.
Yeah.
Especially of how Peyton ended up going out in the end, it was like insane.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But yeah, that's that. I guess we can go ahead and get ready to get out of here.
Yep.
All right. Thank you all so much for joining us this week for the Arkham Files, season 2. Next episode is Killer Croc. Almost there at the end, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to make up my mind about what the final episode will be, and I think we're going to talk about something that we shouldn't talk about. With that being said, I'm going to move on. We'll catch you guys next week. Bye, guys.
See ya.